Random House Audio presents Mr. Lucky by James Swain. Read for you by Tony Roberts. The moon looked funny that night, so bright it seemed to sport a face with droopy eyes and a sly little grin. And for the rest of his life, Ricky Smith would think of that face whenever he paused to reflect upon the series of events that had turned his life upside down. "So, how did you win all that money?" the beautiful girl in his room wanted to know. Her name was Rita, and somehow he'd talked her into coming up to his room high above the Las Vegas Strip, her statuesque body parked beside him on the lumpy double bed. God, is she gorgeous, Ricky thought. Her eyes demanded an explanation, and he shrugged, like winning 20 grand at blackjack was no big deal. "Come on," she pleaded, giving his knee a squeeze. "Tell me." The little man in Ricky's crotch snapped to attention. Divorced 6 months and 11 days, he found himself getting aroused, walking in a stiff wind. "I got lucky." Rita's eyes narrowed. "You were cheating, weren't you?" His head snapped. "No." "Card counting?" Ricky shook his head. He played a system developed by a legendary counter named Stanford Wang, but tonight it hadn't been necessary to memorize a single card. As every gambler knew, for all the calculations and odds and multiplying strategies of working the percentages, there were days when things just went your way. "You're holding back on me," she cooed. He coughed awkwardly. "You want a drink or something?" "Tell me your secret," she demanded. His tongue felt as thick as a potato. "If I did that, I'd have to kill you." Rita fell backward onto the bed and started laughing. Ricky would have been hurt, only she pulled him down for the ride, the two of them rolling around in each other's arms like a couple of kids on a hayride. His lips brushed her mouth, and suddenly they were kissing. Ricky's heart beat out of control. This is how it was meant to be, he thought. "I'll take you up on that drink," Rita said when they pulled themselves apart. "Name your pleasure." "Gin and tonic. Heavy on the gin." He went to the room's minibar. Once his winnings had started to mount, the casino had plied him with free drinks, and now he could barely walk. Stopping at the boxy TV mounted to the wall, he paused to stare at his disheveled appearance in one of the smoky mirrors that served as wall decorations. His face was smeared with pink lipstick, and his hair stood on end. He looked like shit. In the same reflection, he caught Rita firing up a butt. She was a mess, too, but in a sexy way, like she'd just woken up, and it occurred to him that no matter what she did to herself, she was always going to be beautiful, and he would always be a grunt. He staggered into the bathroom, slamming the door behind him. Jesus! The bathroom light was bright and harsh. Filling the sink with cold water, he dunked his head, came up for air, then plunged his face in again. "Are you all right?" she asked through the door. He pulled his face out of the sink. "Give me a minute, okay?" "You want a drink?" "Coke." "Want some rum with that?" "No, straight." His pride had been crushed long ago, and he felt the skeptic in him rear itself. What did Rita really see in him, besides the 20 grand? No immediate answers came to mind. Then he had a brilliant thought. He'd ask her. He cracked the bathroom door. She was at the minibar, her back to him. In the smoky mirror, he watched her fix their drinks. She'd slipped off her shoes and found Kenny G on the radio, her feet dancing as she poured his soda. "Don't drown in there," she called out. He saw Rita dig a tiny vial from her purse. Oh no, he thought, a cokehead. Unscrewing the top, she dumped the contents into his bubbling soda and mixed it with her pinky. "I'm waiting," she called out. Ricky shut the door and leaned against it, breathing heavily. Not Coke, a Mickey. Knock out the dummy, take the money. He wanted to cry. Would have, had he been alone. "Time's up," she called out. A strained laugh came out of his mouth. Being a nerd, Ricky carried a miniature screwdriver in his shirt pocket, and he got on his knees and unscrewed the air conditioning vent, then removed his winnings from his belly pack and stuffed them into the small rectangular hole in the wall. A strange smell was coming out of the vent. He took a deep whiff, trying to place it, like badly burnt toast. Rita knocked on the bathroom door. "Ricky, I'm coming." "Not without me." "Ha ha," he said. He screwed the vent back into place. Opening the bathroom door, he saw Rita sitting on the bed with their drinks, her blouse partially unbuttoned. "Here I am," he said, sitting down beside her. She passed him his soda. "Bottoms up." They clicked glasses, and Ricky felt her stare. He put his drink on the floor, then said, "Listen, something's come up. I think it would be best if you left." "But we're just getting started." The dreamy look vanished from her face. Putting her drink on the floor, Rita picked up her purse. "And I thought you were someone special." Ricky looked into her eyes, trying to see into the soul of a woman who'd take advantage of a lonely guy and steal his dough. Did she care that he was hypersensitive to sleeping medication, and that her Mickey might kill him? No, she probably didn't. He stood up and pointed at the door. "Get out," he said. Her face turned to granite. She went to the minibar and slipped on her pumps. She didn't seem tipsy anymore, and walked calmly to the door before stopping. "Maybe some other time," she said. "I don't think so." She lingered at the door, smiling coyly. "Sure you don't want me to stay?" "You don't quit, do you?" "Quitting is for losers, big boy." "Get lost, or I'll call security." "You're so brave." "Keep it up, and I'll toss you myself." "A slob like you?" She pulled a can of mace from her purse. "I don't think so." Ricky blinked. A thick black snake, about 9 feet long, had slithered into the room and wrapped itself around Rita's shapely legs. Thinking the booze was messing with his head, he watched the snake begin to squeeze the life out of her, only to melt away in a harmless puff of smoke. Rita looked at the floor, sensing something was wrong. "What's that funky smell?" she said. "Something's burning. You better not open that door." "Why not?" "I think the hotel's on fire," he said. Rita put her hand on the knob and twisted it. "Right. And you and I are going to stay in this room until the firemen come. My hero. Well, if I stay, it's going to cost you, toilet bowl head, $400 an hour, $1,000 for the night." Ricky winced. All his life people had soiled him with names, but for some reason this dagger hurt more than the others. His lower lip began to tremble, and he had to think hard. "How about $20, and you have to shine my shoes in the morning?" Rita's mouth dropped open, score 1 for RS. Jerking the door open, she said, "Stick it up your ass, fat boy," and marched into the hallway. A loud whoosh greeted her as the fire smoldering in the hallway sucked up the bedroom oxygen and caused the hallway to burst into flames. Rita stood in the center of it. She acted confused, like someone trapped in a carnival funhouse, and Ricky watched in morbid fascination as her flowing blonde hair and baby doll red dress sparked, then burst into bright orange flames. Rita ran back into the room like she'd been shot out of a cannon. "You bastard!" she screamed. Ricky sidestepped her mad charge and watched her sail headfirst through the glass slider. Choking black smoke filled the room, and he kicked out the remaining glass and followed her onto the balcony. Only Rita wasn't there. He went to the railing and stared down. Her burning body lay in the grass 5 floors below. She had landed with her arms spread out, like a kid making an angel in the snow. "I could have saved you."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?